I have a geography question for you. What if I told you that Oklahoma has 10 or more of these? Actually, Oklahoma has 11, and only 4 states in the country have 10 or more of these. Have to do with geography. They also have to do with ecology, with areas of land that are similar and similar among themselves. They may have similar resources, plants, hills, or glaciers, things like that. Any guesses? Well, I'll tell you what, if you were thinking ecoregions, then you were right. I just wanted to show you a little bit of some resources that I have found, and kind of make learning about ecoregions and where we live in Oklahoma interesting. This could tie into 3rd grade social studies standards having to do with the state of Oklahoma. It could also tie into 4th grade social studies with a focus on geography of North America. The site that I'm on here now is the EPA, the United States Environmental Protection Agency. So here we see the level 1 ecoregions, and there are only 13 of those. So those are very big, broad ecoregions. And then level 2, we see more, but oh, look at level 3. Look how many of these different ecoregions we can see here. And then when we get to level 4, look at all the difference in the colors here. And we see down here on this site that level 4, the ecoregions are defined by such detailed information that there are 967 ecoregions in the United States. So Oklahoma has 11, and we're only one of 4 states that has 10 or more. Any ideas of what the states with higher numbers than we are? If you guessed Alaska being number 1, you were correct. California is number 2. I did not find a source that states specifically what number 3 is, but I believe that's Texas. And do you have any ideas about a state that only has 1 ecoregion across the whole state? That's right, our smallest state, Rhode Island. So I want to show you this resource that actually is, it was part of a tourism brochure that I had a while back, and I just thought it was really interesting, and it broke things down with very good examples. And this could be used with 3rd grade or 4th grade very easily. So it gives us a little bit of information here at the beginning of what they refer to terrain of. Here are the numbers that we're one of only 4 states. And then we can look across all 11 of these and see what Oklahoma has to offer. In the Western High Plains, we have way out in the Panhandle, lots of wide open spaces out there. Then we have the Southwestern Tablelands. Those are also way out in the Panhandle, the farthest part of it. You may have heard of Black Mesa, which is the highest point in Oklahoma, and it's almost to Colorado. It's so far out in Oklahoma. We have the Central Great Plains, of which Oklahoma has traditionally had significant regions of these. That includes Little Sahara, it includes areas around Ponca City and the Wichita Mountains. Tallgrass prairie, this is such a critically important ecoregion, and we just don't have the kind of tallgrass prairie that we had in the past due to settlements all through the central states. Oklahoma does still have a little bit of tallgrass prairie, but this is something that if you're interested in looking it up, look for some pictures of what the roots look like in tallgrass, because the roots go down much farther, much deeper than the part that's above the ground that we actually see. And it plays such a critical role in our environment because the roots and the tall grass itself really takes in a lot of the carbon dioxide, and it's just critically important for the environment, but we don't have very much of that left. Then we come to the cross timbers, and if you've ever been down to Sulphur to the Chickasaw National recreation area. That is the only national park in Oklahoma. Very pretty area down there. And then we have the caves and prairies around Sequoia State Park and Muskogee, 5 Civilized Tribe Museums. Honey Springs Battlefield is a very interesting location where they do every 3 years. They recreate the Civil War battle. Well, a few years ago, I had a graduate student who did her thesis over the Muskogee Creek perspective in the Honey Springs battle, because that battle was fought by many Native and Black men against I think they were primarily Confederate, but then also they fought against the Union there. So very interesting history. Then the Ozark Highlands, we're getting closer to home. We've got Grand Lake of the Cherokees and part of the Illinois River. Then we come to the Ozark Forest, and this is the area where we consider Tahlequah. All my life, I've heard that we are at the footsteps of the Ozarks, and so that's not too far off. And then our hardwood forest around the Arkansas Valley. Many of you are from areas around Spiral Mounds and Hefner. And then the Ouachita Mountains in southeastern Oklahoma. If you've ever gone on the Talamina Drive in the fall, it's just absolutely beautiful. And it goes way on over to Broken Bow Lake and Beaver's Bend State Park. Then as we get down really close to Louisiana, we actually have a little bit of cypress swamp and forest, not a very big part, but we do have just a little bit of that in what is Oklahoma. Something I would do with that then is a map that I located. It doesn't align exactly to what we read about. It's just a little bit different, but it still is very, very similar. So I would do a kind of mapping activity with the students and have them do some kind of analysis, maybe a kind of a scavenger hunt or something, maybe plot some of the county seats and things in here so that they could see what the different kinds of ecoregions are. And then how would we make this relevant to students? Why would they care? Well, it might have to do with things that they like to do. If they like to go water skiing, they're probably not going to have a lot of luck if they go out to the Panhandle. Do they like to hunt pheasant? Maybe. Well, they're probably not going to get a lot of that around here, but they would have better luck in western Oklahoma. Do they like to hunt deer? Maybe they want to go all over Oklahoma. They might be able to find some there. So if we can connect it to things that students like to do and help them understand the importance. Another activity we could do with this map that's somewhat related to ecoregions. What if we mapped the rainfall for Oklahoma? What if we were looking for a pattern of rainfall in an inquiry lesson? Well, we might give them the graph, which generally is alphabetical, as I recall. It's a graph that shows by county what their average rainfall is. And so if we had the students plot that out, then we would see that, oh, way up here in the far corner of the Panhandle where the Black Mesa is, they get very little rain. But as we go across Oklahoma, we get more rivers and lakes. And then we get all the way down here to this swampy area. And this is the part of Oklahoma in the southeast where we get most of the rain. Hence the very different kinds of animals, the different kinds of landforms. All right, just a little something that I wanted to introduce you to since we didn't have time to have a good discussion or activity about it in class.